Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got first takes on the Air Jordan 40 right here, the show's top 10 sneakers of the year so far, the week's hottest releases, and of course, our Hard Pass. So, for hot takes, we're doing 10 of them because this is the Hard Pass top 10 sneakers of 2025 so far. We're at the halfway point of 2025, and it has been an interesting time for sneakers. If someone with the time machine came back to 2015 to tell me that in 10 years, interest in Jordan retros would be at its lowest since sneaker culture went mainstream, Adidas was dominating the signature basketball shoe conversation, and an upcoming Kobe 5 PE of a WNBA star is among the most anticipated sneakers of the year, I'd probably punch them in the face and steal their time machine. Probably change a thing or two about certain events that happened in 2015 that affect us to this day, and then worry about the sneaker stuff. Anyways, goofy fan fiction aside, it has been a transitional year for sneakers. While Jordan retros in the aggregate are not top of mind anymore, they are still the biggest needle mover if the right pair comes along. Despite every Kanye fan and Kanye himself telling you otherwise, Adidas is miraculously still in business. Puma and New Balance are in the middle of a renaissance, and Crocs, look, I hate to bust some of y'all's bubble, but Co-Writer and I have probably logged more wear time with Crocs than in any other brand so far in 2025. So, before we get to the hard pass, here are our picks for the show's top 10 sneakers of 2025. It's not my favorite or Co-Writer's, and it's certainly not what we think the people want, but these are the kicks that carried the show for the first 6 months of the year. Honorable mention, Converse Shea 001 and the Puma Haley 1. Both would have made the list if they actually released before July. So start with number 10, the Reebok Answer 3. Yo, we're just glad that Reebok is paying attention to answers besides the Answer 4. But really, this made the list for one reason, and that's that their recent collab with All Elite Wrestling. See, former men's AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland has been at the top of the card for most of this year, and one of the spoils of being a top guy is getting a sneaker collab. And he and Reebok nailed this project with thumbtacks that are destined to end up on the face of a young buck. Number 9, the Nike Pegasus Premium. We spent months believing that this was Nike's next breakout hit that everybody would wear like Air Max 95. That has not been the case because, well, people are going gaga for Air Max 95s. More on that later. Actually, number 9. The Nike Air Max 95. Nike's been celebrating the 30th anniversary of the 95 in grand style, from the Big Bubble Retro to the collabs with Cortez to the brilliant reverse gradient drop at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. It's been a 6 months long event honoring one of Nike's greatest silhouettes, and it's been done correctly. And while we don't want to talk about the rest of the year between Levi's collabs, the co-branded pair with Eric Costin and Nike SB, expect the 95 to climb up the list come December. Number 8. Anti-Kai Hella. When Anta launched Kyrie Irving's signature line last year, it was an immediate success. Drops were selling out, people kept their eyes peeled to every new colorway, and customs that Kyrie rocked on the court and the takedown models like the Speed Edition had quite a bit of fanfare behind it too. All in all, you couldn't ask for a better way to debut a signature shoe. I mean, like the Nike Kyrie 1, the Anti-Kai 1 was front and center in the NBA Finals. Sure, Dallas didn't win, but it's not like anybody remembers who won that finals, so it's basically a wash. The follow-up has been just as fun with the Kai 2 and the lifestyle-centric Hella. We could have gone with the proper second signature shoe, but the Kai Hella is pretty cool and something we showed some love for on the show this past 6 months. But also, the creative customs that we've seen on the Hella this year have been next level stuff. In particular, the pairs that were designed by Aunt Kai, no relation, for Kyrie and his dad for Father's Day. Number 7, 741 Performance Rover. To date, neither co-writer or I or Preezee, the editor of this show, have seen the 741 Performance out in the wild. This is not the sneaker equivalent of Mr. Snuffleupagus. Jaylen Brown wears them, and there are performance reviews out there of the shoe. It's just that we have not seen them in person or seen anybody in our circles rock them so far. But again, this list is not about the sneakers we've seen the most or the most hype. It's the sneakers we've dedicated a lot of screen time to, and Jaylen Brown's debut signature sneaker, made his own brand, was top of mind in 2025. Launching and hyping the shoe was the easy part, it seems. Now it's about getting them on the feet of the people. I imagine the $200 price point is a stumbling block for a lot of Jaylen fans, but the Kids Bear being competitively priced at $70 should make parents think twice about making the leap. Number 6, the New Balance 990 V6. So on our latest episode of the Too Hard to Pass podcast, we did a Mount Rushmore of the 990s and all of its variants. As you might imagine from a pair of New Balance novices, it went about as well as you can imagine. Just a comedy of errors in Google searches, but done with the utmost respect for the brand. That being said, the V6 has had a great first half of 2025 so far. We've got Action Bronson's collaboration with the V6, another pair from Teddy Santis and Minty Green that I should have no business liking, and a Shohei Ohtani Japan exclusive that is both very dope that we're finally getting some Ohtani sneaker love, but maddeningly frustrating that it was only available in Japan. Co-Rider has spent the past few months grousing about not being able to find a decently priced pair at resale, and by decently priced, he really basically wants them at retail. Number 5, the Jordan Luka 4. I mean, we got Luka years ahead of schedule. We have to care about his signature shoes now, right? Number 4, Air Jordan 1. Honestly, this is really just a band, but we'll just say Air Jordan 1. Like we mentioned earlier, the Air Jordan 1 is somehow the coolest and lamest sneaker in the world at the moment. Very good colorways that would have sold out in seconds a few years ago now sit in stores. Your favorite sneaker influencers seems to have put their collection of ones in storage in favor of Sambas and Speed Cats, and resale isn't popping like it used to. That last one is great. No matter the situation, by the way. But then the Air Jordan 1 Band Retro drops and people are up in arms about the ones again. It's too expensive. It's too exclusive. It's too limited. And just when I thought we were done with ones, they creep back into the conversation. Turns out we can never fully let them go. It's just a down period, I guess. Number 3, Adidas Anthony Edwards 1. If the AE1 was on any other signature sneaker timeline, we'd be talking about anticipating the third entry by now. But because the sneaker became so popular, Adidas did the right thing and held off on the sequel. Now, has the AE1 worn out its welcome? We're not there yet, but you can sense some anxiety already for the 2. Can it live up to the hype? Will they build on the 1's success? Could this be the modern day Air Jordan 2 and slow Ant-Man sneaker momentum? Not sure yet, but the fun part is to find out what's next. Number 2, the Nike A1. It's the Nike basketball signature shoe that made you think that the brand still has something left in the tank. Affordably priced, highlighting the best the W has to offer, and a barrage of releases out the gate has shot Asia Wilson's debut to the top of the charts. We have been banging the drum for Wilson to get a shoe for years now, and while Nike tried to artfully dodge the conversation for several months, there's no denying that the public pressure helped play a role in getting the job done. We've said it before, but bullying works, people. Of course, we mean that in this very laser-focused specific instance and don't condone bullying in most circumstances. Now, all that's really left to complete the circle is for LeBron James to return the favor and rock a pair of the A1s next season. Zuri James already beat her dad to the punch by rocking them in the volleyball game. So, clock's ticking, pops. Number 1, Adidas the Kobe 2, aka Crazy 2. Remember the iconic Kobe running buzzer beater off Dwayne Wade in the story after the shot of Wade wanting to be super mad before ultimately accepting that that's just what Kobe does? Co-Rider and I are D Wade. Heated that this Kobe sneaker, out of all the Kobes out there, snuck up on us and gave us our most passionate discourse with our fans. But again, that's just what Kobe does. Even his ugliest signature shoe can elicit a visceral response. And that's why this sneaker takes the top spot. It's not our favorite by any metric today, or ones that will be made up tomorrow. But that doesn't matter. If the people speak it to relevance, then who are we to say that it's not worth talking about? All we want now is for Adidas to figure out a way to work with Nike and the Bryant estate to get proper Kobe branding on their sneakers again. Even I might consider buying a pair of Adidas the Kobe 2s if they had the Froby logo on them. All right. Let's move on to our pick of the week, the Nike Kobe 5 Caitlin Clark PE. This is on June 30th for $190. After months of seeing people trying to resell their early pairs for thousands of dollars in the secondary market, things appeared to be normalizing to what appeared to be typical numbers for a hyped Kobe Pro Tro in 2025, which is around twice the retail price. Hopefully that means this is not a limited drop and that plenty of pairs will be available for the fans of the WNBA superstar to pick up. That being said, the timing couldn't be any better because the sneaker drops a day before Clark is set to compete for her first championship in the W. Granted, it's the Commissioner's Cup, aka the WNBA's equivalent to the NBA Cup that's actually been around for longer than the NBA Cup, but it's still a championship. I've said this before on the show. but I liken these midseason basketball tournaments to the Intercontinental Championship in the WWE or the Players Championship in the PGA. It's not the big one, but it's something that's going to be listed as a career highlight on the Wikipedia page. And with that being said, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious to what the reaction is going to be if Clark and the Indiana Fever were to win the cup. Like the Venn diagram of Clark fans who think the league and its players are jealous of their golden goose and the ones who think the NBA Cup is a waste of time is probably just a whole circle. I can't wait to hear what the contortions are going to be to fit their asinine narrative that Clark needs to walk on rose petals and be crowned a champion just for existing. Yeah, grow up. I was in New York this past week for the launch of the Air Jordan 40, and I have to admit, I think this is going to be one of the better Jordan game shoes we've seen in a long time. I'm going to do a full video of my first impressions. I already put up a video on Instagram, but I think this model is something special, at least when it comes to the Jordan signature line. But we'll talk about that more in the full video. Anyway, it's time for this week's Hard Pass. We're going to take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like the NBA Finals. Well, that's what people on the internet would have you believe. You know the type, the ones who hate basketball and always have something disingenuous to say about the sport, even though they never actually watch. If they did, they would have seen a well-played finals that went 7 games, but unfortunately hit a snag in the finale because of a torn Achilles to the losing team's best player. Hey, it's okay to not watch because it didn't have your team or it lacked the compelling storylines of previous editions, but for some media people or fans on social media to dismiss a series that was as good as this one shows a lack of good faith and therefore shouldn't be taken seriously. They can kind of all go kick rocks. As for the aftermath of the finals, there are a few things that are going to be getting a hard pass whether we like it or not. First up is the treatment of the Oklahoma City Thunder as the plucky franchise. We've been hearing about the Thunder ever since the former Sonics were moved to OKC. They bet on youth, they draft well, they get close to the finish but are unable to deliver. Stars stay there but only for so long before they yearn for the allure of the big city. Over a decade ago, it was Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden looking on as the Miami Big Three celebrated a championship. You never want to jinx a team and assume they'll be back in the finals, but that core Thunder squad should have made it back, except they didn't. Harden was shipped out. KD eventually bounced, and as much as Russ probably wanted to stay, he got out of there too. But they rebuilt, reimagined, and recreated with a new crop of young guys. The plucky title stuck, and if the Thunder had lost in the finals, you could see a scenario where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren seeing their way out in a few years. But they didn't. They won. And now the plucky title has been shed. And that means everybody is going to take them seriously now. Those goofy post-game interviews where everybody hangs out in the back, not going to be so cute if they go on a losing streak. SGA might be the man, but maybe Williams and Chet desire to shed the sidekick narrative and strike out on their own. What happens the first time some jackoff in the Reddit discredits their championship because Halliburton got hurt? It's going to be fun seeing Laker fans Photoshop any of those 3 guys in purple and gold to team up with Luka and LeBron. Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins are going to have weeks-long debates about whether they're a dynasty or not. Great. Can the NFL season start already? It was fun being the underdog for a long time, OKC, but now you can't hide from the inescapable grip that is the 24/7 news cycle. Have fun with that. Meanwhile, the Indiana Pacers. Well, they're going to get a hard pass, or more specifically, a free pass for a very long time. It's been a common refrain, but it's true. When people look back at this finals years from now, they might not remember the Thunder, but they will remember the Pacers. And unless TJ McConnell becomes the second coming of the GOAT Alex Caruso, the Pacers are going to have a tough time getting back to the finals without their superstar Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, I said superstar because Hallie proved his worth in the playoffs and the finals. He's not the 40-point superstar that an MJ or a Kobe or a LeBron were, but he is a superstar who gets the job done by any means. Game 7 looked like the means was going to be score big until he went down with an Achilles injury. That sticks with fans both casual and hardcore. The Pacers are going to be the team that everybody low-key roots for, kind of like when we wanted to see the Bulls do well in spite of Derrick Rose's numerous injuries over a decade ago. And yeah, they'll fight valiantly. They got Pascal Siakam, someone who knows the feeling of having to rebound after losing their best player the following season. The difference between Toronto and Indiana, however, is that we know the best player is coming back. It's just a matter of time. Usually, when a team wins the NBA Finals, they get a grace period from the fandom of 5 or so years before they can start getting antsy again. When they lose, it's less about grace period and more when are they getting back. However, in the Pacers' case, the grace period opens up like they won the title themselves. And when Hallie does return, it's going to be one of the loudest pops in an NBA game ever. It's going to be fun to watch, and I can't wait. Get well soon, Tyrese. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I'm Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before we leave you with a viewer Hard Pass.
Yeah. Listen, man, I got to agree with you on the Kobe 2s. They are pretty trash, but you forgot one thing. We was out here buying money-printed Jeremy Scotts with the wings on them. Let's not act like that wasn't a thing. And since everything is so niche now, man, you know, Adidas needs to drop the shackle shoe. I'ma just say it. I know it's been a long time. I want the shackle shoe, and that shit's low-key kind of hard. All right, bye.
If you'd like to be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your social media if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace.